If you want to make money sports betting, you should start to treat your sports betting like a savvy investor, right? You're following the market, you're following the line movements and hunting for value. So you can see right here, the Trailblazers moved from plus 205 to plus 210 22 seconds ago. So that's market information, right? That we want to absorb as a sharp bettor. We want to follow the line movements, follow the action, and hunt for value. So, an example, one of the first plays I went with for today is right here. Jalen Suggs over 6.5 assists. So, this plays on FanDuel. So, FanDuel Sportsbook, one of the biggest sportsbooks. I have 9 bets today. And you can see right here, this bet has a profit margin of 5.15%. So, I typically just sort OddsJam to see the highest profit margin bets first. And of course, you can set up in your settings, just select all the specific sportsbooks you use. So right now I'm not using BetMGM Barstool, so I don't have them selected. But what you're going to notice about this play on Jalen Suggs is we're getting a lot of value on FanDuel at plus 120, right? No other sportsbook is giving us above plus 102. So we're getting 18 cents of improvement from Caesars. And most sportsbooks aren't even giving you plus money. So FanDuel is a big outlier in the market, right? So what this EV, this positive EV betting tool does for you is it just takes all these lines, tracking the line movements in real time. OddsJam just takes all the data, all the different market data points, and then points out to you, hey, here's where there's value right now. So you can see lines continue to move around in this Bulls game. So lines appear to be moving towards the Bulls. But anyways, let's go back here. So we were able to get Suggs over 6.5 assists at plus 120. No other bookmakers, better than plus 102. So clear value, enough to beat the vig, beat the juice. As a sharp bettor, you're not looking to get rich overnight. Here's my play on it. I was able to bet $200. So $200 on Suggs over 6.5 assists at plus 120. I would have bet more, but what you'll notice is, you don't get unlimited betting limits if you're crushing a sports book. So FanDuel, even if I wanted to bet on the Dodgers to win the World Series next year, they're saying your max wager is $75. So when sports books know you're sharp and you're beating them for a lot of money, regardless of how you're doing it, they may start to cut down your betting limits, which is why it's important to have multiple sports books, right? So that's why you want as many sports books as possible, because there will be great bets on Caesars, FanDuel. You'll lose some sports books. Some sports books will cut down your betting limits. So you have to get as many as possible. But Suggs, over 6.5 assists, great value at plus 120. Highest profit margin bet I played today, 5.15%. Locked it in. Some sports books even have the over favored, right? Hard Rock, Arizona sportsbook, they have the over favored. So that's the first play I went with. Second, I got another player prop. For you, I'm on Cade Cunningham over 7.5 assists. So that play is right here. So what's cool about OddsJam, so Cade Cunningham, 8 plus assists, 170 at plus 140 odds. Again, this is the max wager they gave me. But what's cool about OddsJam is you'll notice FanDuel has this alternate, to record 8 assists. So if you go to a basketball game, this is what makes FanDuel pretty unique. If you go ahead and you go to, player points, is not only can you bet on these main lines, but you can bet on these alternate markets. So you can bet on, Terry Rozier, 30 plus points, 25 plus points, 35 plus points. So you can kind of select, and OddsJam will take all that data for you, and consolidate it. So here we can see on FanDuel, we're able to get Cade Cunningham in the alternate markets over 7.5 assists, 8 plus assists at plus 140. No other sportsbooks giving us better than plus 123. That's enough value to beat the vig, beat the juice. It's an arbitrage bet to Hard Rock. It's an arbitrage bet to Superbook. Just looking at all the data in the market, it's like, yeah, this is a pretty dang good play. This is a play we want to be on. 4.43% profit margin. So again, pretty high profit margin. You think about the return of the stock market, 8% a year. We're getting 4.4% in one bet. So being able to get this play at plus 140 is pretty incredible value. So I locked it in. And again, it may seem like there's a lot of profitable bets out there. There's probably 15 or so right now on OddsJam, but of course they go down to very low profit margins where you probably don't want to dabble. But in terms of big profit margin bets like 3% or higher, you can still find a lot of good betting opportunities. This one was 4.43%. But, FanDuel has tens of thousands of odds on their site at any given time. So all OddsJam is doing is hunting for those few rare betting opportunities where they're slipping up so big that as a sharp bettor, you can beat the VIG, you can beat the juice and get a positive EV play. And Cade over 7.5 assists is great value. So the final player prop I went with on FanDuel is Jason Tatum under 4.5 assists, 3.7% profit margin on this play. So we'll go here. And it's the same thing, right? It doesn't matter what you're betting on. You're following the data, you're following the market, you're looking for value, right? You're just a savvy investor. So here's my play on Tatum, 178.60. Jason Tatum under 4.5 assists. So I'm essentially like with all my bets, you can see I already have some early college football bets. I have some soccer bets. I'm literally forming my own hedge fund, my own portfolio of sharp, mathematically profitable bets. Every single bet has an edge. Every single bet is a market discrepancy where I have the edge, not the sports book. In Tatum under 4.5 assists at plus 112. No other sports book's giving us plus money except Hard Rock has this plus 100. Pinnacle, which is the sharpest bookmaker, they actually have the under favored, right? They have under 4.5 assists favored for Tatum. They have this minus 124. And we're getting plus 112 on FanDuel. So line shopping, hunting for value, letting OddsJam scan the market, found us 3 incredible player props early in the day on FanDuel. So next, again, you need multiple sportsbooks to be successful. If you just had FanDuel, sure, you can tail the first 3 bets I gave out, but you can't get Derek White under 2.5 assists at minus 115. So this was on Betway. So you can see every sportsbook has this minus 142 or higher. We're getting minus 115. It's like, yup, sign me up. So you can see I bet it twice, 250 and 750 for 1,000 total. And I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 sports books. These are fantasy sites all telling us this line should be priced, minus 145 to minus 151. We're getting it minus 115. It's an arbitrage bet to Barstool, to Bet Rivers, clear value in the under. It's all you're looking for as a sharp bettor. Enough value to beat the VIG, beat the juice, and have a positive EV wager, a wager with a positive expected return. So this bet, clearly enough value to beat the VIG, beat the juice, the no VIG odds are minus 115. Another way to think about sharp sports betting, because this is our 4th bet of 9, is you have all these data points telling you where the line should be set, and then you're just trying to be rational and find outliers, right? Find books that are slipping up, they posted odds incorrectly, and you're getting the bet in your favor. So here we have, all these data points telling us this line should be minus 145 to minus 150. We're getting it minus 115. Sign me up, right? This is a play we want to be all over. So I ended up hammering it for $1,000. So that's play 4. It's like if you had a bunch of stock exchanges and every stock exchange is telling you, hey, this stock is worth $400. This stock is worth $400. And then on Betway, you can buy that stock for $350. It's like, well, there's 15 other exchanges, telling me the stock should be worth $400 and I can buy it at $350 on Betway exchange. That sounds like a pretty good deal, right? So you're looking for value. You're hunting for bets with an edge. It's not about getting rich overnight. That's not how, you might as well go to 7-Eleven and play the scratch-off lottery. So next I have Jokic to make 1-3. So I have $1,000 on that as well, as you can see right here. $1,000 on Jokic to make 1-3. 2.42. So the profit margin is going down slightly, but again, I'm forming my own portfolio, my own hedge fund of sharp, data-driven bets, all with an edge. And, we've said this before, but you can now sync your bet tracker directly with OddsJam, which is really cool. So you can sync sports books. And what's awesome about this is it will automatically pull from the sports books. Like if I go to bets, it'll pull my bets from Prize Picks, all these things, and automatically grade them as wins or losses. So you can see here I had some wins, some losses on Prize Picks, Caesars win bet, and then it just automatically grades my bets as wins or losses. So as a sharp bettor, you don't win every day. You still have ups and downs. I mean, you need, like, your bets have an edge, but they're not guaranteed to win. It's like finding a coin that's weighted in your favor and you flip it with a friend for $100. You know you're going to win in the long run because the coin's weighted in your favor, but you don't win every day. You can see we've had big ups and downs, and this is automatically pulling from 3 sports books that I linked: Prize Picks, WinBet Arizona, and Caesar Sportsbook Arizona. So let's continue to go through. Again, need multiple sports books. Wherever there's value, we're playing. The first 3 bets I talked about were on FanDuel. It's not because I particularly, love FanDuel or something like that. All the sports books are great. I like playing on all of them. It's just because that's where the value was, right? So that's the first 3 bets we're talking about. And I'm in Arizona. So now these next 3 profitable bets are on Betway. If you're in a different location, maybe you have different sports books. But the same concepts apply. We're getting this bet. No other sportsbook has it better than -120. This is a fantasy site, of course, Prize Picks. Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, has this -146. So just kind of as a sharp data-driven bettor, we're like, yeah, like -105 seems pretty dang good. -120s all around, -146 on Pinnacle, 41 cents away. It's an arbitrage bet to Pinnacle. So 2.42% profit margin on this play. So again, this is really how the money starts to stack up as a sharp bettor, right? These are returns that you're earning in one day. If you find a bet with a 5% edge, if you have an NBA betting model, let's say where you're returning 5%, I don't know how many NBA games there are per year, maybe something like 80. If you could return 5% every game day, you can think about what that stacks up to over the course of a season. I mean, massive profits. Massive, massive profits. So next I have smart under 3.5 rebounds, which you can see right here, under 3.5 rebounds at -110. So slightly different than this -111 here. It moved down slightly. Same concepts. Doesn't matter what you're betting on. Stop trusting your gut. Follow the data. This is how the sharps do it, the pros do it, people who do this full-time for a living, right? Be like a hedge fund. Look for bets with an edge. Form your own portfolio of sharp, data-driven, mathematically profitable bets. It's really that simple. So Marcus Smart under 3.5 rebounds. Next play. I hit that for 250. For some reason, they gave me 1,000 on these first 2 player props. Then they gave me 250. So let's continue to go through because I had some other ones. I have the Nuggets -7.5 right here for $150. So you'll notice every sports book either has this as a coin flip, -110 in both directions, or they have the Nuggets side favored. The Nuggets -7.5 lines are juiced towards. Hard Rock, Twin Spires, or Desert Diamond, Twin Spires, Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're all juicing lines towards the Nuggets -7.5. We're getting this +100. Seems like a good deal. So I hit that. Next, I had a play on the total. So let's find it somewhere. Over 234 in Pelicans Pacers. So if we go ahead and we click into this game, I got over 234 at -110. I hit it for $250. So this plays on Caesars. Again, you need a bunch of sports books to be successful. Wins, losses, there will be variance. We pushed Vikings -3. Titans +7.5 first half spread, crushed it. But over 234, we got this at -110 odds on Caesars. You're going to notice most sports books, they have the line, the total set at 235 half, right? So they're 1.5 higher than Caesars. So we're getting 1.5 better than the rest of the market. That's value, right? DraftKings and some other sports books have alternate lines, alternate totals. So we can compare, but it's pretty clear, Bet Online, Pinnacle, two of the sharpest bookmakers, offshore bookmakers, they're both setting the total at over under 235.5. Bet online minus 110, minus 110. We're getting this play over 234. So we're getting a 1.5 of value. That's how you want to think as a sharp bettor. Wow, we're getting a 1.5 of value. There are millions of dollars bet on the NBA. It's a very efficient betting market. The way you make money is you hunt the sports books, right? You scan the sports books and you look for discrepancies. You look for value, right? You look for value in the odds. When you're betting at minus 110 odds, it's not like you need to win every bet. You only need to win, actually, 52.438 technically % of your bets to break even long term when you're betting at minus 110 odds, 52.38%. So as another example, the next play I went with is over 233 in Kings Warriors at minus 110 on WinBet. So you can see that play right here. So this is my fourth sports books. We now have bets on Caesars. You know, we have bets on Betway, WinBet, and FanDuel. So you need as many sports books as possible. So here we can see that play over 233 in Warriors Kings. And what you're going to notice is in this, it's like, yeah, I mean, most sports books have the total a point and a half higher. We're getting over 233 at minus 110. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, only has 15 cents a market with. They're at minus 125. Pretty clear value, pretty clearly they're asleep at the wheel. They're too low on the total. So I found a play on the total that I'm winning over 52.4% of the time. I'm not winning this bet every single time, right? But this bet has an edge. I found a play with value where they're off from the market. They're too low. A bet with an edge, right? And when you have plays with an edge, you always, win long term because you have the edge. The sportsbook doesn't have the edge. So here are my bets, 9 bets total. Here are the stakes in the respective profit margins from OddsJam. So for example, our play on Jalen Suggs has a 5.15% profit margin. We hit it for $200, so our bet has 1030 in EV. You try to give me a $5 bill for my bet on Jalen Suggs, I'm going to tell you no, because my bet's worth 1030. 5% profit margin, $200 stake, roughly $10 in total profit margin in dollars. So the whole point of this is just to show you the power of, sharp mathematical sports betting. Since the start of football season, on live streams, we're up 10K. On full-length YouTube videos, we're up 34K. So not bad, right? And then when you're looking for new bets with an edge, all you do is you come back here, you refresh the EV page, right? And you're like, okay, let's find some more sharp plays. Hey, looks like there's some good value on Looney right now. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let's make some money, guys.